Hello everyone, my name is Landon, and welcome back to another video. Now, before we get into today's video, I just wanted to say thank you all for 100 subscribers. We've reached the triple digits, everybody. I just wanted to say thank you for all the people who have stood by me throughout this entire journey that I've taken so far on YouTube, and yeah, so thank you everybody. Today, I'm going to be going over my top 5 worst Stephen King adaptations. I did a top 5 best Stephen King adaptations on my channel. Go check that out after you check this one out. But today I'm going to be going over the top 5 worst, or my top 5 least favorite, the ones that just weren't that fun to watch. So, without further ado, let's get into this with the number 5 spot. We have Thinner. This movie it had great source material. This is my 11th favorite Stephen King novel of all time, and it just had so much going for it. The movie could have had so much potential, but the movie was just plagued with horrible special effects. The acting wasn't nearly as good as I wanted it to be. The main character, Billy Halleck, was wearing an awfully noticeable fat suit. And that's the one thing that was really wrong with it. The special effects it was just terrible. Like, the 1990s special effect just didn't do this movie justice, or this book justice. And if it would get remade with 2010's special effects, or 21st century special effects, it would be much, much better with like all the CGI we have going around and green screens and stuff like that. It'd be much better. So yeah, that's Thinner. At the number 4 spot, we have the Tommyknockers. Another movie that was plagued by awful 1990s special effects. This is a movie that needed to be made in this when we are now, in this decade, which it is going to be. James Wan is making a remake of this movie, which I'm happy for, because this movie needs it. This book isn't necessarily one of my favorites, but it's definitely one of my Stephen King books that has the best, like, plot. If this book was shortened, it would be such a good Stephen King novel. It would be top 10 material if it was just shortened instead of this 900-page long behemoth. But the 1990s TV series, the special effects were just horrible. The ending wasn't anything like the book. Some things happened in the book that didn't happen in the movie, and some things happened in the movie that didn't happen in the book. That happens all the time with novels that get made into movies, and it's just terrible. This movie, the acting was awful. Like I said, the special effects were atrocious. Spoiler alert, Bobby Anderson at the end of the book dies. At the end of the movie, she lives. And it's just like, things died that shouldn't have, things didn't die that should have, and it's just like, this movie, I'm so glad it's being remade, because this 1990s miniseries was just terrible, so avoid this one. Now we have a movie that was made in this decade, The Gunslinger, or The Dark Tower. The movie that was made from this series, they said that it acted like a prequel. Was it a prequel or a sequel? I don't remember what it was, because it was just like, it was terrible. It's just like nothing like the books. Like, it didn't, they said it served as a prequel, I think it was. The movie served as a prequel to the books. I think that's what it was. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. But this movie was just like, the acting was great. Matthew McConaughey, Idris Elba, great actors. They played their roles very, very well. But just like, the movie was nothing like it. It had such great source material to go off of, and they just didn't do it correctly. And I'm pretty sure Amazon is making a TV series based on these books, which is going to be good, because they may actually do something well. They may actually follow the story. So, I'm hoping that that's going to be good. So yeah, number 3, The Dark Tower. Get that back in there. At the number 2 spot, we have The Mangler from Night Shift. The Mangler was such a fun movie to watch, but it was just ridiculous. This is at the number 2 spot for the sole reason that they made a 19-page short story into an hour-and-a-half long film that just, like, it could have been made into a short film. It could have been made into a 20-minute short film, and it would have been great, but the movie was just so ridiculously, it was just crazy. Like, the acting wasn't amazing. It was okay, but, like, everything about the movie was just so ridiculous, and it just didn't need to be as long as it was. The story itself is insane, but, like, it could have been so much better. And another one from this, it's not on the list, but another one from Night Shift is Graveyard Shift. That movie was really fun to watch, but once again, it wasn't really like the book, and it's a short story. It's not meant to be an hour-and-a-half long movie, but yeah, that's That's Night Shift, The Mangler. If you guys haven't seen The Mangler, I actually do recommend watching it. Get drunk with your friends, watch The Mangler, have a good time. And at the number 1 spot, we have Cell. You need to stay away from Cell. It was a movie that was made in 2016, starring John Cusack and Samuel Jackson, I believe. The acting was terrible. It had 2 great actors in it. The special effects were terrible. This movie was made 2 years ago. The special effects were atrocious. The acting was so overdone. There were flashing lights everywhere. And everything that happened that was supposed to be, like, meaningful just came off as funny. The ending was so funny and so bad that I didn't feel bad for anything that happened in the movie. Like, the book itself isn't amazing. It's a good book, and I cared for the characters, but I didn't care for anything about the movie. Everything in the movie was just bad. The special effects, the acting, the death scenes. Some of the death scenes were funny, like at the beginning when everybody's like earphones are going off and like the cell signals going around. Everybody goes nuts, and it's the funniest thing to watch. But it's just terrible. This movie was so bad. And if there's one Stephen King movie that I would recommend staying away from, it would 100% be Cell. At least The Mangler is fun to watch. At least The Dark Tower has some good action. At least The Tommyknockers is sort of like the book. At least Thinner is... I can't really say anything good about Thinner, but I mean, it was just less... It was just less worse, less crazy than the other ones. It actually tried to follow the story. But Cell is just stay away from Cell. If you have seen Cell, I am sorry for you. If you had seen Cell and liked it, I'm not judging, but you have a weird taste in movies. And if you haven't seen Cell, stay away from it. It's not a good night movie to watch. So, that's the list. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.